and welcome back to Mining Networks. I'm joined with Rob Bergman, who is CEO of Relevant Gold Corp. So thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Emma.
Pleasure. So let's start by getting a nice overview of the company.
Sure. Well, Relevant Gold, we're a relatively new company. We just listed August 11th on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the ticker RGC. And we're developing projects in Wyoming as an early stage gold explorer, where we're building off of a very large scientific thesis that we've been chipping away at for years. And that thesis connects Wyoming to the Abitibi gold belts during the time of mineralization. So it's a really exciting time to be exploring in Wyoming, which is a great place to operate, one of the most favorable jurisdictions globally. And that's kind of where we started and just finished our first drill program, and we're excited to continue our exploration in 2023.
No, that's awesome. We'll dive into those things shortly. Let's start by, could you run us through your market cap, share structure, how much cash in the bank, that sort of thing?
Yeah, sure. So we've got about $1.5 million cash in the bank now after we finished our program. We've got about 50 million shares out currently, and we're basically, as I mentioned, just recently listed August 11th, so we're a very fresh opportunity in the market, and we're seeing a lot of positive traction because of that. And we're just moving into a lot of near-term catalysts here with just drilling and conducting our 2022 exploration program. We've got results coming out soon, and we've got a very good group of investors, a lot of long-term shareholders that have been with us for a long time who really support us and the thesis, and we've got a number of significant holders within our management and insiders group as well, who've all invested in each round and take a significant position and really vested in this project long term.
Awesome. So talk me through the scientific thesis and how the geology, because you've got a very large land package here, and how it kind of compares to Abitibi.
Yeah, so we have a very large land package. We've established 5 district scale assets with this new thesis. And really it's opened up Wyoming in ways that have never been thought about before. Really identifying these Archean belts that were connected to the Abitibi during that critical time of mineralization, around 2.65 billion years ago. And later, at about 2.1 billion years ago, you had your major tectonic rifting, which separated these two geologic provinces to where they currently reside. And so under that thesis, we put our boots on the ground and started to check all of Wyoming and these Archean belts for the criteria needed for an orogenic scale Abitibi-like deposit. And we've been very successful with that exploration program in the early days, giving us a lot of confidence. And then we started to establish, again, this land package that's a total over 42,000 acres across 5 district scale projects, really giving us a long pipeline of discovery opportunities in front of us.
Wow, and so you talk about these Abitibi-like deposits. What is the potential scale here? Like, are there case studies where, you can see kind of what this could be for Wyoming?
Sure, so when you look at the Abitibi, there's some of the richest and deepest gold deposits that we know of. Some of them extend multiple kilometers into the Earth's surface and have produced well over 10 million ounces of gold. So these are very large scale opportunities, and they're very high grade opportunities, which often results in higher margin, higher profitable mining. And so that was one of the reasons we really focused on orogenic style deposits in Wyoming with this connection to the Abitibi.
Brilliant. So talk me through a little bit about your team's experience and your own experience, because obviously this is a bit of a new project, and in your presentation you stated you got a track record of acquiring this sort of value. So talk me through that.
Yeah, no problem. So we have a very well-rounded team, from the board through management and down to a full boots on the ground team. Some of our team members have had a significant track record in the industry. Dr. Peter McGaw, Ron Parrott, Sarah Weber, Brian and myself, we make up the board, all of which we've created a tremendous amount of value in the marketplace, and we've done that through the discovery of opportunities and the development of things over time. Brian and I specifically, who co-founded the company, we have had the good fortune of working with some of the world's largest mining companies in North America and really understanding what it takes to not only identify tier 1 opportunities, but take them from concept through the discovery opportunity and beyond, and really giving us that opportunity to maximize the value proposition for our shareholders.
Yeah, it's a really exciting project here. So talk me through a little bit about, so it's a scientific thesis. How are you going to prove this? So what's the current exploration program? What are you looking at kind of exploring? You say boots on the ground. Talk me through some of the processes you're doing before it gets to the drilling stage.
Yeah, exactly. So, what we do is we deploy a pretty basic strategy in concept. We generate these new opportunities through what we call a new eyes on old rocks approach, and we really get out, put our boots on the ground to validate and acquire these projects. Once we've acquired these projects, we put them right into our systematic exploration, where we do everything from detailed mapping and sampling, rock chip sampling, soil sampling, geophysics, till we can come up with some very compelling drill targets, at which point now we have about a dozen drill targets ready to test and permitted. We just finished up testing our very first area this year at our Golden Buffalo asset. We're really excited to get those results here early in the new year, but we have a number of other targets already in queue and ready to go. So we're excited to be ramping up for a really robust exploration season in 2023 as well.
Yeah, it sounds it. So what does the drill program look like for 2023? Is there an estimate of amount of meters that you're going to be aiming for?
We haven't put a full pin in it, but we'd like to drill 5 to 10,000 meters if we can. This year we achieved 3,500 meters on our Golden Buffalo project, and again, we've never ever seen the subsurface here. There's no historic drilling. We're the first ones to see these rocks. So it's imperative that we start getting some geologic understanding of the subsurface, and so we can vector towards opportunity. What we do know is that we have a lot of gold at surface, high-grade gold, anywhere from 1 gram to 160 plus grams, and in some cases visible gold. Now, what that tells us is that this gold occurrences are associated with these linear shear zones at surface, which fits this Abitibi thesis. And so now we're starting to understand the subsurface architecture and putting together our true vectors so we can hopefully vector towards an opportunity of scale and a true significant discovery.
Yeah, definitely, because the drill program this year resulted in about 13 new identifications of orogenic shear structures.
So that was actually came out of our regional mapping program. Mm-hmm. So across all of our assets, we were able to identify 13 new shear structures totaling over 15 kilometers in strike length, all of which will be in queue for follow-up drilling in the future. At our Golden Buffalo project, we were focused on our about 1.2 kilometer shear zone there, where again, we've seen high-grade gold occurrences at surface, and we're starting to now drill that out. And what our keys there are, does this shear zone continue at depth, and does it continue along strike? And what is potentially controlling the gold mineralization we see at surface, and how do we use those tools and information to vector towards the true deposit at the subsurface?
Excellent. So just a nice kind of overview here. What, in your eyes, if you could have a vision for this company, where do you see it in 5 years' time?
Oh, well, we see it finding multiple opportunities and new discoveries across this thesis. I mean, really, that's the crux of it. This thesis is opening up opportunity across 5 district-scale assets. We have very large land holdings. We have a lot of exploration upside in front of us. We've got a lot of near-term catalysts. And so, really, sky's the limit. It will take diligence. It will take a lot of concerted effort and good science, and that's exactly what our team is built for. And so, we'll continue to systematically chip away and test targets and move towards the discovery process and beyond.
Definitely, and you mentioned that obviously it only recently got listed. So how did this company, how did you acquire it?
So the company itself, again, it's new, it's clean, a brand new business, and we have been developing this thesis for over 6 years out in Wyoming. And with that, we started to assemble these land packages, and ultimately have now it all in Relevant Gold. And Relevant Gold has moved forward into the listing space, and we did that through a non-conventional approach. We did a non-offering prospectus direct list, which actually in today's markets has really served us well. And so we're pretty happy with the results of that, and now we're very excited to be listed and out there and available for the public market.
No, excellent. So as a company, what are you most proud of achieving over the past 12 months? Obviously, you haven't even been listed for 12 months, but is there a key thing?
I mean, I'm a geologist by training, so getting into an area that's never been tested and never been drilled at depth, and being able to do that as the first mover in that space, it's incredibly exciting. So we're very excited to be executing on our plan. Our follow through, that's really important to us. We like to do what we tell our shareholders we're going to do, and we've done exactly that this year. And we're looking forward to next year where we can expand on this and grow our exploration plans across multiple assets and multiple targets. Really, just, again, trying to refine our Abitibi thesis and focus on a opportunity discovery of scale.
So in terms of the history of the area, you mentioned there that there hasn't been much previous drilling. Is it completely underexplored?
It is very underexplored. So there's been historic mining. In the late 1800s to the early 1900s, there's been a lot of historic mines along these Archean belts. And these are high-grade gold mines. In the South Pass camp, which is our flagship camp, we have 4 of our 5 district scale projects there. We have seen estimated to be about 300,000 ounces produced in that late 1800s era. One of the most prolific mines was the Coarse mine, which is known to produce about 180,000 ounces of gold. Again, they only mined down to about the 400-foot level, where they ran into water and it became uneconomic at the time in the late 1800s to continue to pursue. But they ended in the richest ore grades in that mine, really uniquely positioning that district as an underexplored region. And it has not seen any drilling or any modern mining really since. And so, for us to go into this old district and be able to put our new eyes on old rocks approach to it, we're very excited about what we're seeing and the fact that we continue to find high-grade gold associated with shear zones in an orogenic style environment, which is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, no, it sounds like an incredibly exciting project, especially I'm a geologist myself as well, so the idea of just like kind of explored drill holes coming out, like I look forward to seeing the results. So talk me through the jurisdiction a little bit and about the stakeholders in the area. What's the relationship like there? It's
great. We have a lot of support from the community, from the various government agencies, and we see that through streamlined permitting, but we also have a lot of support. Wyoming, again, being one of the least populated states in the United States, where their GDP is heavily dependent on natural resource development. So we have a lot of strong support and a culture who understands the development process. And that's really great in the US, because there's not many places that can offer that. And in addition, there's been a lot of other big groups who have been out poking around in the past. Both Hecla and Newmont had some very large land positions in the 80s, and I don't think they really drilled it or did anything with it, but it's exciting to know that they were out there poking around as well. And again, the community, they support us, but they also they want to know what's going on. And it's really easy to inform a community who already has some concept of natural resource production and how that all works. And beyond them understanding it, they can really get excited about it, because the opportunity for a potential discovery of a big gold deposit, it's really exciting for anybody, I think.
Yeah, especially if you live next door to it. So.
Yeah, and directly in our field area, there's not a whole lot of communities, so we're not looking at disturbing anybody with our activities, which is also great.
You've mentioned a lot of things to look forward to over the next few years. Could you talk me through just a few key milestones for investors to expect in the next 12 months?
Yeah, so as we said, we just finished our program up here recently. We've got some near-term catalysts awaiting our results. Again, hoping and expecting to have that in the new year, and we're very excited to be able to move towards results on that, but also, again, use the information and data that we got from this inaugural program to map out a much more robust exploration program for 2023 across multiple projects and multiple targets. And really, putting a runway of catalysts in front of us for the next 12 months.
Well, it sounds all very exciting. I look forward to following along. Thank you for your time today, Rob.
Thank you, Emma. Appreciate it.